Another setback for President Trump as a federal judge orders his administration to reinstate funding for foreign aid contracts. You may remember all programs under USAID had been put on a 90-day pause so they could be reviewed. Well, while that funding freeze has been reversed so far, it's only temporary. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand joins us now from Capitol Hill. Natalie, what led up to this decision yesterday, and what does it mean for USAID and the many groups that need its support?
Good morning, Errol. As you noted, this temporarily will allow those funds to flow again. And the judge who issued this ruling also blocked the Trump administration from canceling foreign contracts that were made prior to President Trump's inauguration. So contracts that were potentially negotiated under the previous administration. This is a lawsuit that was brought by two health organizations that receive U.S. funding for programs abroad. And the plaintiffs described a lot of harm, jeopardizing vital services to vulnerable populations. Plaintiffs in the case also described having to lay off employees. Now, the judge noted the Trump administration's arguments that this freeze in funding was necessary to conduct a thorough review of each program. We're talking about thousands of programs here. But then he went on to say that administration officials have not offered any explanation of why a blanket suspension of all congressionally appropriated foreign aid, which set off a shockwave and upended contracts with thousands of nonprofit groups, businesses, and others, was a rational choice for reviewing these programs. Now, the judge is going to make a larger ruling, but he said, absent this initial court order, the scale of harm that's already been done could increase even further.
Also, Natalie, yesterday, President Trump met with the Prime Minister of India, talking trade and tariffs, among other points, and you had Trump announcing a new policy of reciprocal tariffs. Help us understand what that means.
Yeah, this order essentially directs administration officials to begin to look at reciprocal tariffs, across countries globally. So we don't really have a firm timeline here, but what we're talking about is the U.S. potentially putting a levy on goods from countries that already put a tax or tariff on U.S. imports. So this would kind of be a tit for tat type of situation. But again, we don't have a firm date. And it comes on top of the president's other announcements about, tariffs on steel and aluminum, the threat for sweeping tariffs on Canada and Mexico that is for now paused. The president was asked yesterday by reporters, is he worried about prices increasing to the consumer? Take a listen.
I think what's going to go up is jobs are going to go up. And prices could go up somewhat short term, but prices will also go down.
Yeah, so administration officials have argued that tariffs are going to, spur U.S. Manufacturing, products made here, and investment in the U.S. But economists worry about costs being passed along to the consumer, and even banking analysts, they wrote this week that talking about or proceeding with reciprocal tariffs poses additional upside risks to the inflation outlook, Errol.
And Natalie, in our last few seconds, we know that mass firings are underway at federal agencies. Do we know which agencies are being hit hardest?
So CBS News has been tracking this, and we've learned that there have been department-wide cuts at the Department of Education. This is a department that obviously the president has talked about slashing or dismantling. Really what's in focus here is probationary employees who have, maybe less than 2 years of experience. The administration, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, feeling like those employees have less tenure, may have less legal ties. So the union's really concerned about this group of employees and are reporting 40 or so, at least what they had heard of yesterday, of employees being impacted. Also at the Small Business Administration, probationary employees there. And earlier this week, we reported about cuts at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So again, we're talking about newer employees, unions, in a new statement, say they're going to fight this, say that the employees were not given notice or due process. We'll have to see whether this potentially triggers, more legal action. Remains to be seen at this point.
Natalie Brand, across all the big headlines, we appreciate your reporting. Thank you.